beautiful ring has been made, and this time they're made for a man. This one right here. I will show you how I make them from A to Z, and there's going to be a surprise at the end. Hi everyone, my name is C. Welcome to my channel in CBju Studio Diaries. Here in this channel, I love to share the process of me making jewelry, from thinking it, doing the experiment, as well as the tutorial. I have been making jewelries by learning by myself from YouTube videos. So this channel is about my tribute to people out there who are just starting out and who are looking for a way to learn at home, and you're welcome to ask questions. So today I'm so happy because last week I received an order of this ring right here, and that order comes from a man. When I make this ring originally, I have a man in my mind. Okay, there are a lot of jewelries out there for girls, for women, but I don't really see a lot of jewelries for men. I know that there are less men wearing jewelries, but it's not true, you know. My dad wears jewelries, my brother wears jewelries, my uncle also wears jewelries. Anyway, he purchased it just last weekend, and I'm so excited to share to you the behind the scenes how I make this ring. I will try to edit it as detailed as possible so that you can understand exactly how it happened. Stick around until the very end to see what this surprise is all about. Diary keepers, let's get to work.
First step is to cut the wire accordingly. For the twist, you want to count 2.5 times from the length of the original wire needed for a certain size of ring. Next is to fold the wire in two and make a small loop as small as possible at the intersection. And I'm going to cover this loop with a masking tape to avoid it from scratching. Get your bench vise ready and mount just the loop on the inserts. And start twisting by hand. I know that this technique may not give a uniform looking twist if it is compared with twisting it with a drill, for example. However, for some reason I like this style. It would make it looking more organic. From time to time, I also straightening the wire with the parallel pliers to make the silver rope looking straight. My twist is from left to right, but it does not have to be this way. You can do it from right to left, and since it's a ring, there should not be any restriction on direction. So here I'm recording the whole process for you to see exactly how I do it and where I am. Like I told you earlier, from time to time I would straightening the twist using the flat nose pliers. The tricky part comes at the end. By this time the wire has been twisted so much that the tip becomes stiff and difficult to work with. Its short length makes it even harder to twist. I am still trying my best to use my two hands to manipulate it in order to avoid using pliers as little as possible. As you can see in this step, I gave up. I'm using pliers finally. I'm avoiding using the pliers because it will have fewer scratches. That means less time spent sanding, which is exactly what I'm aiming for. This looks good. I really like how my twist look like. Next, I'm going to form it into a circle by using ring pliers. While forming the ring, I'm trying once again to make the twist until the very last millimeter, which I did. So happy about the result, but this is unnecessary if it's too menial for you. Anyway, the silver leftover can always be used for recycled. Here I'm cutting both sides of the edges and sand it flat to prep it for soldering. You want to make the rope seamless by soldering it at the right twist. Just make sure both ends lines up correctly. Adding a bit of tension also help, but the angle of the seam also need to be perpendicular. Okay, you got the idea. The most important thing is to practice. Honestly, in my side, it's also very hard to do. And here, it seems that my ring doesn't line up. I'm using my secret weapon by inserting 250 grit sandpaper, which is quite coarse, between the ring and then sanding. It really helps to make the both edges meet. Bingo! I can go to the next step now. I'm going to put Sharpie on the seam so that I know where to solder. Preparing the flux and applying it all over because I don't want my silver to get burned. To make sure that the ring holds up well and does not break apart, I'm applying solder not just along the main seam where the wire ends meet, but also in the space between the twist of the wire. This extra soldering will reinforce the ring structure and obviously the durability. The fall was so unexpected. I could have caught it, but it was way too hot, so I let it drop. Luckily, I found it quickly. Accident happens, so stay safe, tie your hair, and wear long pants at the bench.
I do not want to wait until the end of this video to reveal the secret, so I'm doing it right now. This ring is the one that I originally want to make, that is being sold in men's size, and I make two of them with the same style, only with a different wire gauge. So these two have just been out of the pickle jar after it's being soaked for more than 12 hours. Please don't copy me on that. I think 12 hours would be too long, but you know, sometimes people make mistakes, especially when there's long weekend and that person doesn't want to work during the weekend. So this is what happened. Two instead of one. Secret revealed. I think this is going to look super good. I haven't done anything about it yet. It needs to be hammered and polished and oxidized. We haven't done any of that, so we'll see how it's going to turn out. I'm excited. Let's get back to the bench.
Let's hammer this ring circle using the mandrel, and this time I'm using the metal hammer because not only I want it to have a perfect circle shape, but I also want to flatten the edges of this rope. As you can see, the edges are flatter thanks to the hammer work. However, I'd like them even flatter. And since I've already reached the final size and any more hammering would make it larger, I'm just going to file the edges to refine them. This will look great with the oxidized finished. Next up is sanding, my favorite part of the jewelry making. Well, I'm just kidding. I wish. Here I'm taking off the hard edges using the 300 grit sandpaper. And then moving on fast with 400, 600, 800, 1000, and finally 2000. I also hammered the ring flat on the anvil to really make sure that the ring is perfectly horizontal. Here I want to show you the front view of the ring. Do you see that the twist is rather flat on the front? And that bling, one proof that I had sanded the piece correctly. This is the finish that I want to achieve with this design. But I'm not finished yet. Here I'm preparing the hot water and I enter the ring along with the liquid liver of sulfur. Normally I can wait for 5 to 10 minutes, but here, since I don't have a lot of things, I don't even have to wait. The ring turned black in a second. I would still leave it for a little while though before taking it out. And to take it out, I prepare the cold water on the side. I fish out the ring with wooden or plastic tongue and transfer the piece onto the water. This will help cleanse up the excess liver of silver and also to set the oxidation. This is the result of the process fresh from the water. If you like your ring to be all oxidized, then you're all done. However, for me, I'm not finished yet. I'm going to sand the raised area using the finest grit sandpaper I have, which is 2000 grit, to give them a polished look while leaving the rest of the ring dark. I also polished the whole piece using the polishing compound. After finishing everything, during the final check, I noticed that one of the indented areas was starting to blend into the raised part. It might be because the solder did not fully melt, or maybe there was too much solder. So I carefully filed that section of the rope detail with a needle file. It was tricky since I want to preserve the black oxidation, but that proved nearly impossible. In the end, I had to redo the entire oxidation process. Do you know that when you purchase a black silver, it will gradually turn back into its original color? So, to preserve its black beauty, it is necessary to apply a protective coating. It will turn white eventually, regardless of what we do to it, especially when it's a ring or pendant, but this coating will definitely prolong that effect. Don't apply the paste directly onto the jewelry, but instead pick up a small amount of the paste onto the cloth, then gently wipe the jewelry. This spreads a thin layer of the paste onto the jewelry surface while polishing and protecting it. I'm using the same process with thicker wire and I love how it turned out. The twist catches the light just enough to add subtle dimension. Nothing flashy, just the right touch. The contrast between metal and shadow gives it a quiet, handcrafted depth. Understated, with intention. No bling, just zing. Diary Keepers, the smaller version, is in my Etsy shop if you are interested. And right now, I'm working on the photography for the larger version. Please be patient. I will put all the links down the description below.
Thank you so much for watching. And you have already known the surprise because I've spilled it in the middle of this video. Yes, this is the ring. So instead of making one ring, I decided to make two. This one is made with 18 gauge wire and this one is the twist of 16 gauge wire. It's bigger, bolder, and manlier, I guess. What do you think? What do you think? Does it look good or is it too big? Let me know in the comment below your preference. To be honest with you, if you ask for my opinion, even the larger ring fits really well on my finger. So, and especially men have larger fingers. I can even go bigger, I think. Maybe next time I'll do that. It would be fun to experiment with how big I can go. Well, Diary Keepers, thank you so much for watching. Stay creative. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Please be kind to yourself and others. And I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.